Fred, the show time again, and welcome. We're in the big studio today, so don't anyone tell Gordon and Amy about it that we're taking up some of their space right now. But we're in the big studio for a big reason, because obviously the holidays are here. Christmas and New Year's. You're looking for things to do with your families. You got your kids, they're out of school, and what kinds of things can you do to keep them occupied? Well, you got a couple of great options, and they are a short drive from where we are in the upstate. Coming up a little bit later in this show today here on WSPA+, we'll be talking about Carowinds and their Winterfest. But first, you got to go big and you got to go Dolly, and we are talking Dollywood and especially their Smoky Mountain Christmas. Wes Ramey is here. He is, of course, the public relations director with the Dollywood Company and our good friend. We saw you on the Zip trips over the last couple of years in the summer. I'm so anxious to hear about this winter festival. First of all, thanks for being here. You ready for the holidays?
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate that. And you know, at Dollywood, I feel like we're always ready for the holidays. We have 6 million Christmas lights, and we start putting them up in May. So I feel like it's always Christmas time at Dollywood, but just a great time to come up and for folks to enjoy making family memories in the Smoky Mountains during Christmas.
Let me ask you a little bit about the park before we get too specific into Christmas. There are, I know you might find this hard to believe, there are other theme parks around the country. But I don't think that I can really think of one. I know there's one with a mouse, but that has the kind of personality that, you know, Dollywood has because of her as the figurehead in Eastern Tennessee, in the Smokies, country music, all of those things. This park has such a unique personality, it appears to me, year-round.
You're exactly right, and that's something we hear often from guests who come who have visited other theme parks, and they tell us that Dollywood is unlike any other experience that they have. And I think that's because of a lot of things, but the chief reason among that is our dreamer-in-chief, Dolly Parton. As you say, you know, she's beloved around the world, but for those of us who work at Dollywood, we see her as a leader who we want to make, you know, proud. We want her to be proud of the way we host our guests. In fact, all of us at the park, we're not employees, we're hosts, because we're hosting you as a guest in what is essentially our home, and we want to represent Dolly well, and we want you to have a great time when you're at the park. You know, Dolly had two main reasons for building Dollywood into what it is, and that was to first hire people in the area and give them employment, and second, to invite folks to the Smoky Mountains so that they would have a great reason to come to experience the warmth of the people and the beauty of the area. And you know, we've just completed our 40th season, and I think she's made well on that promise to continue giving folks a reason to come and experience all the great things going on in Sevier County and at Dollywood.
There is so much to see when you go to that area. You mentioned working there, and you've been there for a while. How much fun is it to have Dollywood basically as an office? Your break room is better than anything that anybody else can imagine.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, because occasionally, every once in a while in our break room, there will be a loaf of cinnamon bread that someone may bring up from the park. So I always joke, and I put it on social a lot of times, that the snacks in my break room are better than the snacks in your break room. But it is a really special place to work, somewhere that I'm proud to work, you know, and I think every employee at Dollywood feels the same way. We've been voted the most friendly theme park in the United States so many times that they actually stopped giving the award away and changed it to some other things and called it Best Guest Experience. And guess what? We've won that every year since they've been giving away the Best Guest Experience Award. We've been named the #1 TripAdvisor park in the United States 3 out of the last 4 years. And I think that says something, because most people, when they leave a TripAdvisor review, they're not leaving it because they had a good time. But in our case, it is because they had a great time at the park and they want to let others know. And I think that speaks back to what our guests experience when they come to Dollywood, and something we try very hard, not just at Christmas, but year-round, to make sure that they have that warmth and that environment where they feel like they are safe to come in and make great memories with their families.
Okay, let's talk specifically Smoky Mountain Christmas. You mentioned more than 6 million lights, which must be an amazing undertaking right there. Tell me about just some of the things you'll see. Obviously, you got dozens of Christmas trees, without a doubt.
We have about 600 cut Christmas trees
Whoa.
throughout the park. So yeah, so when you combine all of that, it really is an environment that you're not going to find anywhere else. As I mentioned, we were the 15-time Golden Ticket winner for Best Theme Park Christmas Event. That's kind of our industry's Emmy Awards. And we've won it so many times that they stopped giving that award away, and they just named us the all-time legend for Best Theme Park Christmas Event. And when you walk into the park, you see those lights, you see all of these great decorations all throughout the park, you really do understand why Christmas at Dollywood is something different and something you won't find anywhere else. But it really does go back to the hard work our hosts put into making sure that our guests, when they arrive, have that awe moment. And you can stand at the front gate a lot of times, especially of the evening as the sun goes down and the lights really begin to pop. You can look and see first-time guests as they're coming in because they are just blown away and they're just kind of walking around looking, you know, all around at all these great decorations along Show Street. And, you know, again, that's why we do what we do. We want guests, when they come to the park, to be able to forget everything that's going on in the world. You know, this time of year is especially busy. So to be able to give folks time to just forget about all that and to focus on one another and enjoy a great time at the park, that's why we do it.
I have been there with my family before for a Smoky Mountain Christmas. It's great. I was up there. My father-in-law was in his 70s at that point. My daughter, I think, was a teenager, 14, 15, something like that. And the thing that I always really remember about that day is I know that because it's in the winter, sometimes the temperatures can have an impact on whether or not you can run the rides. And the thing that we found, and we were there one of those days where there were very, very few rides you could do, and yet we spent the entire day there and had an amazing time without rides. And that must be the kind of thing that you can offer all of your guests depending on whatever the weather may have.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. So first of all, our rides, most of our rides operate this time of year as long as we stay above a minimum operating temperature, and all that's available on our website, so you can kind of plan before you come as to what rides may be able to be open. But to that point, you know, it's a great park that is a very multi-generational experience, and it does sound cliche, but there literally is something for everyone at Dollywood. If you love rides, we have some of the best rides in the entire world, world-class rides that were the first of their kind. Our new ride that we're adding next year, Night Flight Expedition, will also be first of its kind in the world. But we've got amazing shows. It's Dolly Parton's theme park, so you know we're going to have amazing shows. The food, our culinary team knocks it out of the park every single festival, but Christmas, I feel like they take it up a notch just to try to improve and I guess show off a little bit for all the guests that come. Shopping, people don't think about all the shopping, but you can get a lot of Christmas shopping done at Dollywood. Stores that rival things that you'll see at a lot of boutiques and craftsmen's fairs all around is all at Dollywood. And then, you know, other attractions that we have. The Dollywood Express is something everyone loves doing. It's kind of like the Polar Express. You're able to go and get a very unique view of the park. But so many things outside of just the rides at Dollywood for you to experience. And again, it just kind of puts that bow on it of just being an amazing opportunity to get families together, to find activities and things that they might not necessarily think they would be able to do at a theme park or to be able to do together. They're able to do it all at Dollywood.
Let me ask you about a couple of things that are regular features. Obviously, the live music shows are great. How are they a little bit different during the holidays? And then you mentioned once it gets dark and you get those fireworks. It's always a great way to cap a night.
Yes, exactly. So our shows, again, it's Dolly Parton's theme park, so you know the shows are going to be great. She holds us to that high standard, and we want to make her proud there. So all throughout the park, every Christmas show has been going on, many of them for several years, including Christmas in the Smokies, which has been going on every year of this festival, so for 35 years. So that is a great show that has become a tradition for so many folks because they have been bringing their kids and now the grandkids are coming. So we're seeing multiple generations now being able to witness that show. But all throughout the park, we have Oh Holy Night, which tells the story of Jesus' birth. We have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So many different bands that are on stages throughout the park. We have the Candlelight Carolers, who every evening do multiple shows on the steps of the Robert F. Thomas Chapel, singing a cappella traditional hymns, which is just a beautiful time there in the valley. So great shows all throughout the park. Then, as you mentioned, on Fridays and Saturdays, and then every evening, December 26th through December 31st, We have a fireworks show that caps off the evening at 8:45, so a great way to end the evening.
Dollywood open now every day for Smoky Mountain Christmas, except for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It goes through January the 4th. When you start thinking, you mentioned a couple of things about next year and new things coming. What's the idea, or what kind of thinking goes into when you make big changes at a park? You mentioned a lot of generations. It's one of those things where you'll bring something new, and over the years, sometimes you've had to say goodbye to something. How do you kind of balance keeping both of the, I know it's very hard to keep everybody happy, but how do you balance those changes you make at a park?
Well, you know, we have a long-term plan. Our park president, Eugene Naughton, does an amazing job of looking 10 years into the future, which, you know, in the economy the way it is and different things, you know, throughout the year, being able to be that forward thinking allows us to be able to look ahead in ways and start conversations with companies about ride projects or other things that we may do in the park that are guest excellence providers. New restaurants, widened pathways, all the construction projects you see us do. We're listening to guests. We're looking at trends within the industry because, as I mentioned, we have a number of world-class attractions all throughout the park. We want to be able to continue to offer our guests that, but we want to give them those guest excellence satisfiers so that when they come to the park, they, you know, find those things, they let us know, we listen to that, so that the next time they come, hopefully we've been able to improve on that. When we were in COVID, we found a number of things that our guests were telling us about pathways that should be widened and different things. So we worked through the park to take care of those, to give more places for folks to sit and eat. A lot of opportunities come just from listening to our guests and reading their reviews that they leave for us. You know, I mentioned those TripAdvisor reviews. We take those to heart and we look at what we can action within those to just make the everyday guest experience better. And then, like I said, we're long-term planning out to look at what we want to do to be able to provide great opportunities for our guests that they're not going to find everywhere else. And sometimes you have to work with the ride manufacturer companies well in advance, many years in advance, to be able to make that happen. But it's a lot of long-term planning that our team does a great job at doing, and I'm the lucky one that gets to go talk about it.
And we are glad you joined us today. Wes Ramey, Public Relations Director for the Dollywood Company. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. And I hope to see you sometime next late spring or summer. We need a zip trip there again.
I think that sounds like a great plan. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, and we'll hope to see you soon at Dollywood.
That sounds great. Merry Christmas to you too, Wes. And Fred the Show will continue in just a moment. Back on Fred the Show, we are talking about the holiday season and the best time for you and your family. And you just have to go right up Interstate 85 to Carowinds because it's right there at the North Carolina-South Carolina border. And do they have a holiday season plan for you? Chris Foshee is here. He is the Carowinds Regional Manager with Public Relations. Chris, it is great to have you here to talk about Winterfest. First of all, welcome.
Thanks, Fred. It's awesome to be here. I appreciate you having me on. Excited to share all the good news with the upstate.
Well, of course, Winterfest is underway. That's the good news. But before we get to that, there's something I've wanted to ask you about just concerning theme parks in general, in that I love them. I don't care where we go. Carowinds is great. I won't name any others. I don't think there's any others. But when you go to a place like Carowinds, it's a blast for us. What's it like to actually work at a park?
Oh man, it is. It's a great job. It is. It's an amazing place that you can imagine. The energy, the constant events going on. There's always something going on, and then you get to work in an amusement park, which is pretty cool. I'd be lying if I said I didn't sneak on a roller coaster during a lunch break, or maybe indulged in a funnel cake. During the work day. I mean, that's just part of it. But then when you come out to the midways and you get to see families all happy, and it really just it adds purpose to your work, which is one of the reasons I love working here and love the industry.
It is a great one. I'm glad to hear that. Of course, I'm immediately jealous of how you get to spend your breaks. Our break room is not nearly as exciting. Let's talk about Winterfest. It started on November 28th. There's still plenty of time for families to get there. Not only once you go past Christmas, and even New Year's, you get a couple of days into 2026.
Yeah, it runs now on weekends through January 3rd. We're open from 12 to 9 p.m. on Saturdays, and then 12 to 8 every other Winterfest operating season day. So, we're giving the families more time to come out and, kind of enjoy the merriment of the season, get some rides, and, experience all the fun festivities that we have.
Tell me a little bit about some of the different things that Winterfest offers. First of all, for the youngsters, the kids when they come.
Yeah, we have a experiential. Excuse me. We have six great activities for kids and their families. Anything from making cookies with Miss Claus, decorating cookies, to writing letters to Santa and creating like crafts. And then we have our 8 live shows, which entertainment is really the theme here at Winterfest. It's our largest entertainment billing of the year with 8 live shows, and we have 3 new ones debuting this year.
Can you break down some of those shows, especially the new ones, just cut with the kind of variety of shows that you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you would expect at any kind of big entertainment venue. We have live productions like Tinker's Toy Factory, which is like a musical play, musical production inside our historic Carowinds Theater. Then we have, musical acts on the midway. One of our new shows is called The Wiseman. They are amazing. They do a musical rendition of the nativity scene. And then we have story time with Miss Claus, which is always great for the kids to kind of gather around Miss Claus as she shares some stories. And then, of course, in Camp Snoopy, we have our Snoopy's Jingle Dance Jam, which is just a good time. And it gives a great chance for the kids to get tired.
Parents do like that as well. Let me ask you a little bit about Winterfest, not only specifically for you, but for other parks, maybe other parks in your company. It seems to me, and maybe if I'm wrong about this, while the holidays have always been big, putting together something really special and really unique has become, it appears to me, maybe in the last 5 years or the last decade, to be something that's really important in your industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have just a real unique opportunity within our venues, within our parks, to deliver an exceptional experience across the board. Sometimes you have to go to a couple of different places to get all your Christmas festivities in. You may, go look for Christmas lights, and you may go ice skating another day. And you may catch a local show or something like that. Here we kind of bring everything together from live shows, and you can't miss out on the rides as well. We have 29 rides and attractions open during Winterfest, more than we've ever had. So we kind of fancy ourselves. We're the one-stop shop for all your holiday festivities.
Is there a particular strategy that you might tell maybe a first-time park goer to do? Maybe let's just start with Winterfest. You arrive, it's your first time there, you walk in the gates. What do you think should be the game plan?
Fantastic question. I would download the Carowinds app. That's more resourceful than a plug here. I mean, it's free. It's going to have all the ride wait times. It's going to have the show times as well. So you can really kind of plan out your visit right there from your mobile app. And it also has directions to any location within the park. So, in case you're in the mood for a funnel cake, you can actually look up a funnel cake and boom, get walking directions right there. So that is definitely a helpful resource. Other than that, just have fun and explore, just let the park take over, and just be engulfed in the season.
Give me your top 2 or 3 attractions or your top 2 or 3 favorite rides. I know you love them all. It's like picking between your children. I understand.
Yeah, no, I think Fury 325 definitely takes the cake. It won its 9th Golden Ticket Award this year for the best still coaster in the world. We're talking about, I mean, this is right here in Charlotte. This is the best still roller coaster in the world, which is just amazing. And if you've ridden Fury 325, then you know it definitely it earns the golden ticket there. Other than that, I would say our new family launch coaster in Camp Snoopy. I have 2 young children myself, and it's a great ride. It's one of our newest attractions with our Camp Snoopy expansion. It's open during Winterfest as well. That's a great time. And then, I'm going to go classic. I like an old school carousel, and we have a beautiful one here at Carowinds, one of the oldest in operation, and it is just picturesque right there in the middle of the park with all the holiday lights around it. It's a beautiful time.
Let me ask you about attractions in general. You've talked about a lot of new things. This is a park that's been open for more than 50 years now, and there are times where you make decisions on moving from one attraction to the next. I mean, there are some things that aren't there any longer. You can't keep everything and not advance in some ways. What all goes into the thinking when you're going to make a major change? Because I know a ton of opinions are heard and a ton of ideas and a lot of research goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of look at everything. Generally it's looking at like kind of our attraction portfolio. We look at like, who's coming into the park. We have a lot of young families here in Charlotte and the surrounding areas. So that kind of led way for our new Camp Snoopy expansion in our kids area and that expansion. But we've added 30 rides and attractions in just the last 10 years alone, which is really crazy and unprecedented. It's very detailed. It's very strategic. Everything's taken into consideration. We listen to guest feedback through surveys, and even like social media, active listening there, just any and everything. And then it gets down to, okay, like picking the attraction. So it's everything from the manufacturer to like, how comfortable are the seats? How fast can people get on this ride? And then, ride other attractions during the visit. So, I mean, it's really a science of fun, is what I like to call it.
I got a question about 2026 because I don't think right now is the time to start thinking about your water parks necessarily, but you've got an exceptional one there. Just tell me how much that adds to the overall experience.
Well, it's two parks, one price. I mean, the water park in itself is ginormous. You can spend the whole day in the water park, or you can come over to the hard park and enjoy some rides. So it kind of, it's the best of both worlds, especially on those hot Carolina days.
Let's get back to Winterfest a little bit because in our remaining minutes, I just want to give everyone just a pretty good idea of what to expect from it. First of all, can you mention those hours again? And let's just start right there.
Yeah, we're Winterfest is going to be open at Carowinds through January 3rd. We're open from 12 to 9 p.m. on Saturdays and then 12 to 8 every other operating day during Winterfest. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have we have 8 shows, 3 new ones. We have 29 rides and attractions open, and we have 33 exclusive menu items for Winterfest. So if you're a foodie, you're into that sort, we definitely have you covered. Anything from like a traditional, ham turkey meal to, some very festive creations from our culinary team.
I know you've got a break coming up then after we get into early 2026, just a couple of months to prepare for the new season. Anything you can tell us about what's ahead for next year, and also a little bit about people who might be looking at this and think, not only do I want to go to Carowinds, I'd like to work there.
Yeah, you can get all that information at carowinds.com. We're always hiring. We are one of the largest regional seasonal employers in the Carolinas, so very proud of that. 26 is going to be another exciting year. We opened 2 new attractions at Camp Snoopy. So we're looking forward to kind of, having another summer of those, introducing those to our guests. And all the fun, like you said, we have the water park, we have the hard park, all the roller coasters and, family rides that you can imagine, and a great lineup of events also. Winterfest is a great example of this, but, we have Carowinds during the Halloween season. And then we have Viva La Fiesta, which is going to be our spring event this year, or in 26.
Chris, it's going to be a blast, I know, for everybody who makes their way right there. And of course, it's so cool. That park is literally, you can stagger between North Carolina and South Carolina right there when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, that is one of the unique things about our park that I really love. It kind of makes us a little quirkiness, but it definitely adds to kind of our flair here at Carowinds.
It's awesome. Chris, hey, you have a great holiday season yourself. Give our best wishes to everybody at Carowinds. I know everybody who goes is going to have a fantastic time.
Oh, thank you so much, Fred. Thanks for having us on. And yeah, come out to Winterfest. We're ready for you.
Great idea right there, Chris. Thank you so much. That is Fred the Show for this week here on WSPA Plus. We'll see you back here next time.